Welcome to Chapter 3, Crosstabs and Sampling, the video series hosted by me, Tim Smith, on the Workbook of Quantitative Tools and Techniques in Marketing, 2nd edition. To begin this chapter, we'll take a look at crosstabs with single samples and only 2 categories of answers to the questions being posed in the survey. We'll show you how to use crosstabs with categorical data. Specifically, we'll be dealing with nominal data, whereas in the last chapter, Chapter 2, we looked at ratio and interval data and plotted those with frequency plots and histograms. In this chapter, we'll be dealing with categorical data, specifically nominal data. You'll find that there's very little we can do with ordinal data in terms of plotting and analyzing. After all, ordinal data is just a list. In looking at our categorical data, we'll be using Excel if functions and the Excel count functions. Let's begin by looking at this kind of categorical response data to the question, did they purchase or not? Data like this might come from a web designer who's simply trying to see what's the percentage of people who purchase. And they collect data, and this customer purchased here, this customer purchased, this one did not, this one did not, this one did not, yes, not yes, no, 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 etc. You see the example of this being categorical data. The answers or the responses come in the form of A or B, yes or no. Something did or did not happen. This isn't the kind of data that one can make a standard frequency plot, because it is categorical data. Instead, we do something different. We'll make a crosstab. So let's begin by making a crosstab. Now the first thing we notice is these are words. It's kind of hard to work with words. It's easier to work with numbers when we're trying to use categorical data. So let's first convert these words into numbers. I'm going to use an if function to do that. I'll type in here equals if. And this says if this, then give me that. Otherwise, give me the other thing. So if logical test, if this cell equals the word purchase, which is the word is, give me a 1. So 1 would be true. If not, value if false, give me a 0, close parenthesis. You'll see a return to 1. I'm going to copy and paste that all over the place. I may have pasted a few more spaces than I need to, but I can always go back and delete rows. So let's see where I'm copying and pasting from. That's looking at the first data. Don't need this row. This is looking at a blank data. Don't need that row. This is looking at the last data. I need that row. So I'm going to delete all of this data because it doesn't really exist. Finally, we notice here that it's also looking at a blank cell. I'm going to go ahead and delete this piece of data as well because it's not really measuring. So now we've converted our words into numbers using an if function, as you see up in here. So saying if D3, this cell, equals the word purchase, give me a 1, otherwise 0. We'll take a look. No purchase is not equal to the word purchase. So in terms of the value of true, I won't get that. Instead, I'll get the value of false, which should be 0. So watch as I move off that cell. You see we got a 0 to a 0. Excellent. We've converted it now into 1s and 0s. We next need to calculate the frequency of responses. Now we have 2 possibilities, purchase or no purchase. I'm going to be lazy and just copy and paste those. B, no, and I'll also calculate the total. So purchase, well that'd be, well if it was 1 if it was purchase, it was 0 if they did not. So that would be just simply equal to the sum of all this data up here. Because it was 1 if it was purchased, it was 0 if not, so the sum of the 1s will be the number of purchases. We saw we have 4 purchases. The total will be the total number of responses we measured. I can Find that out by simply counting. Equals count. Now it'll just count the number of pieces of data that are there. Leave the blank cell out. Close parenthesis. 23. Now if you notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4 by roughly 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 6 is 24. The last one is empty. So this count function simply counted the number of cells with data in it. 23, which is one less than 24. To find the number of no purchases, we can simply take the total and subtract off the number of purchases. And you find out that there were 19 no purchases. This would be, I'm going to insert a row here, insert row, and I am going to title this frequency. And finally over here, probability. And our probability will simply be the number of responses divided by the total. Put that in terms of percentage. Keep total constant by putting the dollar sign in front of the row number so I can copy it from row to row. You see that 17% of this sample purchased, 83% of the sample did not purchase. The total sample size is 100%, which is 23 people. This is a very simple example of a crosstab. What you're looking at here is literally a crosstab table.